Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, episode 302. I am your host, Matrix Lloyd 212, and I'm with Connor Farley. What's up, Connor? You there, Connor?
Yep, I said hello.
What's up, John?
Not much.
What's up, Mike D?
I love Jesus.com.
Ah, you can't have that either. Vil.
Shaitan Akbar.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right, so we're doing the Everything Show now, but we're going to talk about Walking Dead on here a little bit. We had a little controversy. We talked about the finale, and some people didn't agree with us. What we had to say. No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about what we would discuss. No, you and I were on the same page about the fact that this is a different story when the director, the producer, the freaking whole armada, the actors, everybody's basically saying, "Oh crap! Look out! This may happen if Glenn's dying. Oh, this is why this is happening. This is why. Oh, Carol's gonna die. Oh, Daryl's gonna die. Daryl's gonna lose a hand." They're constantly promoting bullshit. Okay, and what people got it wrong with us is, by no means did I say I hated the finale. I actually loved the friggin' finale. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was great. Okay, one thing I didn't like was the fact that there was no reason for them to lie. There was no reason for them, because once we're watching it, we're watching it. So you know I'm going to watch it, you're going to watch it, 20 million people, 30 million people, 50 million people, whatever. There's no reason to think that we're not going to watch it, so you got to create some bullshit so we watch it. So if they would have just not made these stupid accusations like Glenn even saying he's going to die soon, you know, all this stuff, I'd be fine with it. You know, just like same thing with Doctor Who when they post shit articles and repeat it and twist the words and everything because it's a slow news day for 10 months. I have a problem with that too. So in this case, it wasn't just fans writing articles about The Walking Dead. It wasn't like, you know, this one saying, hey, I think this is going to happen. It wasn't even me saying, all right, my prediction or Sharon's prediction. This was coming from The Walking Dead camp, basically. Okay? And I had a problem with it. And Mike D even had a beyond a problem with it because Mike D ain't going to watch it anymore, period. Okay? And that was our gripe. That I still love the episode. He liked the episode with the exception of that, right, Mike D?
I'm with you as far as loving the episode. If they just would have kept their mouth shut and not tried to create some artificial expectation. Yeah.
See, the problem is people watch, and look, some people maybe our podcasts are too long for you. So you'll watch snippets of it. Maybe you don't want to sit here and watch it for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 50 minutes. Okay? But you can't, if you don't watch the entire podcast, you can't criticize, and even I'd be allowed to criticize if you don't watch the entire package, to say that we are anti-Walking Dead. We are nasty. We hate the show. We are bringing it down. No, we do podcasts on the show to promote Walking Dead because we love Walking Dead. I love the finale.
The reason, actually, like, that I'm so disappointed with what occurred was not because I don't like the show. It's quite the contrary, because I love the show so much. I'm so disappointed to find out that the actions of these people behind the show are so manipulative that they would, like, basically bend the fan base over a barrel because, like, I feel like I've been used at this point.
So have I. I felt like we've been hornswoggled or whatever the hell word that is, you know.
Oh God, I got hornswoggled one time, and they used a red shanker and tied it around my eyes, and I couldn't see nothing. Oh God. Oh, I woke up with such sores and limey bumps and blisters all over my ass.
Well, that's nothing. You didn't watch the finale then.
Yeah.
Because it's worse.
So that's the whole thing. I love the show. I'm sticking with the show. I'm just not going to pay attention to the other drama, you know.
So you don't have a problem with the fact that they did that enough to not...
No, I don't have a problem with it where I would stop watching the show because of producers and directors. No, I won't. I'll still watch the show.
Do you feel a little used?
I feel dramatically used, but not enough to stop me from watching the show.
Is it because you're hooked?
Yeah, I'm kind of hooked. Yeah, I would say I'm hooked.
So you're.
I have a vested interest in Rick Grimes and Daryl and seeing where these characters go, how the comic deviates from the show. I want to see, because I have a feeling that eventually they're going to make a mistake. And that's what I'm worried about, too, because you can't make a bold accusation that you could go on for 12 years just like that based on the ratings now. Okay? Like, I honestly don't see how The Walking Dead could last, another additional till now, I'm saying. If you want to go on another 10 years from this point, that would mean like 15 years worth. I mean, it's possible it can. I mean, they could be good enough writers to, throw some new elements into it that's not even in the comics. But, if they had made bigger mistakes, they have made more mistakes lately than they've made us happy, in a sense. They've done things to piss me off. I know they've probably done things to piss you off. I was not a fan of any type of Walking Dead episode without the group. When they did the Woodsbury thing, I was not happy with that at all. I didn't like the filler episodes where it didn't even have Rick in it at all or any of the main guys. Wasn't really crazy about the Governor adventures. Didn't like it when they were separated. I thought that when they had the Daryl and Beth thing, that weakened the character and made me like him a lot less, because my whole point of Daryl, I didn't envision him in that way. So I kind of lost a little respect for the character when I see that he can't even hold his liquor compared to someone that's never drank in her life. and like he starts crying and all this weird shit. I'm like, what are they doing to him, So
yeah, Daryl was drinking moonshine, I mean, he's a redneck mountain guy. He would have probably had moonshine before.
But that's what I'm saying. He would have had experience with that.
Yeah.
That was just a little far-fetched.
Well, there was some. Yeah, Gloria just joined too.
Okay.
But there were some issues with that particular episode also, like the whole thing about everyone being like they all got a reprieve. All of these characters that tried to kill, like the guy that tried to kill Glenn, shot him, left him out there to be like eaten by the zombies and stuff.
Right.
And like the stuff with Gabriel's character, with what happened with Sasha, it's kind of like,
Well, see, you know what is my point was, all right, I know that they extended the run, they have to have a certain amount of episodes, they have to fill those episodes, right? But if you're talking about the zombie apocalypse where there's hardly any food, there's hardly any drink, right? Why would you risk your life to get this girl drunk? Like, risk dying to get her to find alcohol? Like, I really don't see the point of that. Like, I understand there's got to be some light moments, there's got to be things, but that really doesn't make sense to me, how they've come such a long way, right? They've lost so much. Why would you, life is precious, why would you throw it away to get her drunk? Like, I just have a, I mean, is it they're depressed that much? They thought Rick was dead, everybody said, fuck it, we're just going to find alcohol and die. I mean, I don't understand. But then they're fighting to live.
Got some demons over here.
So I didn't understand that episode. I didn't understand the whole Andrea thing with the governor. Like, to me, it was like, he's a bad person. And I don't understand why it even went to that point. I don't understand how Andrea could have gotten killed by that guy when she had 5 walkers on her and she's like stabbing through them. Like, that didn't make sense to me either.
Well, if I may, I'm kind of curious because I know like at least half of our panel here don't watch the show. I'd be curious what they thought about any show that did what this show did to their fan base. by putting out there that things were going to happen, and they weren't like rumors. They were like directly reported to the fan base from the people behind the show. What they think, like John, Vil, Connor, because I know you and Gloria and I watch the show, but I mean people who don't actually watch the show, what would they think about like if they were longtime supporters and viewers of a show like that, and they took a big crap on the fan base like they did?
I would hunt down person who did this and put on pike.
I would love it. Give me more and more.
Let the Republic say this is not acceptable.
I don't care. Do whatever.
Lead. Put on pike.
All right.
Well, I mean, that was a serious question I was asking, by the way.
You can't put both sides. That girl with the stick through.
No, I mean, I appreciate the humor. I'm just saying, like, I'm just curious because I know some of you guys don't watch the show, so I didn't want to make it all about like the details about like the characters. These are people you guys aren't aware of because you don't watch the show.
This is.
Right. I mean, I had a problem with people saying that Rick is like Shane, which it couldn't be further from the truth. I have a problem.
You put them on pike.
They needed to, actually.
I don't know. It just, to me, why is this not working?
I still have a hard time supporting this show after what they've done. I mean, it was a great episode, but I just don't like being. I don't like feeling like I've been manipulated by the show. You know, the people behind the show, because there was no need for that in the first place.
Yeah, we were all there to watch it, so you're not going to do anything that's going to make anybody else watch it that they didn't watch it already. Every single fan's basically watching the show. Honestly, I mean, this is the first time in history they've never seen ratings like this ever anywhere. So if you think you're telling me that some people just didn't watch it, I mean, they recorded it, did whatever. Somebody watched. They seen it throughout the week, whatever. I mean, they did get to see it or will see it.
Well, if you think about a show that's comparable, that was at its peak, kind of like Walking Dead is right now, like the X-Files. You know, if you had like the producers like Chris Carter, creator of the X-Files, and the people behind that show, like hyping up like that there's going to be these huge events that occur, and none of that happens, you know, it's going to leave a bad taste in your mouth.
Oh, of course it is. I mean, see, my only difference is now that I will do casts on it, I'll watch it, but I won't do news on it from what they say, or I'll say it, but with a grain of salt, because I won't believe them anymore. You know, they don't. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it
at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it no matter what. But my opinion and perception of it's gonna be different now because I see that it's like a J.J. Abrams thing, where he's telling everybody that Khan's not into darkness, and everybody's lying, saying that Khan's not into darkness, and it turns out Khan's into darkness. That doesn't work because it actually got people fired and made their careers almost go in the toilet because they lied. You know, I mean, Orchie, Simon Pegg. So like, lying doesn't really work.
It's almost like you get the feeling that they've taken like social networking now, and rather than use it for good, they're using it to manipulate the fan base to say, well, we're not just going to report like these things that are going to be exciting that are actually going to be in the episode, but we're going to like create this fake sort of expectation and just play the audience. And if that's the case, it's going to backfire on them because people are going to be like, well, you know, why are we even listening to what you're saying to us now anymore?
You'll never see a site say that this episode of Walking Dead sucked. Nobody has the balls to say this sucked because they're looking for the interview, they're looking for whatever. They're all mimicking the same thing. Oh, this was on tonight. They're void of opinions. They're just doing an article as you're doing an article. They're not giving any feeling behind the article. They're not putting soul into the article. They're like, Rick is going to do this, blah, blah, blah. It's like run-on sentence. That, you know, when we do a cast, we say, do we like it? Do we not like it? Is there certain things we didn't like about it, but we still like the overall picture? We're honest, okay?
Well, that's why the other night, like I said, that I do realize this is a show. I mean, I don't take it like that seriously. I'm just disappointed, but I still think that you can look at it like a relationship because we've had a relationship with this show, and much like you would have a partner like if you caught them like in just some huge flagrant lie, that's going to put them in a different sort of light to you.
See, I didn't really like agree with that analogy, but I can see where you could say that. You know,
where's the point that you disagree with the analogy?
Well, no, I mean, again, like we said, it's just a show, right?
Yeah.
So to make it like it's a relationship.
But I mean, we are having a relationship with the show. We've committed, like, you know, a certain time every week to watch the show. I mean, like Doctor Who, like you are with Spider-Man, like we all are, like I am with Bond, like Connor is with James Bond.
Well, it's like we said, if the Doctor becomes a woman, right? Will we not watch it? You know, will we be done with it completely? You know, is there a certain point that if they cross, that will just be done? You know?
I would say yes. For myself.
Like I said, if they killed Rick Grimes off in episode 1 of season 6, I'd be done.
Well, and that's why I was saying much like a relationship. I mean, if your spouse like started acting like a different person and was lying to you about stuff, you'd probably like reevaluate that relationship, would you not?
Of course. So we'll be reevaluating this relationship.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. 'Cause I've already seen problematic issues with my relationship with.
I need you to reach deep into your hearts and your pocketbooks and take him by the hand.
I wanna see what you guys think of it. I mean, like Gloria, the whole thing about. Now, I mean, here's the thing, Gloria. Could you honestly say that you'll still be watching it by like season 15?
Well, that's really far away.
I mean, here's the thing. What I want to know the 5 things that will make you stop watching Walking Dead forever.
Okay, well,
5 things.
I could tell you one thing.
They killed Daryl.
They killed Daryl Riot. Yeah.
I can tell you one thing.
Finally joins
exactly. This will tell you exactly how I feel about the show. Now, you know my favorite character will always is and always will be, have always been, Glenn.
Right.
But I know now that in the comic he dies. Of course, that makes me upset, but I know if they're going to go with the comic, they will kill him off in the show, too. You would expect, I guess some people would expect me not to want to watch it anymore once he dies. But no, because to me, Glenn and Maggie come as a package deal, so I keep watching for her sake. I would want to find out how she does after, and so on and so on. And I do like other characters besides Glenn, so it's like a step, you know, the next person in the line that I like. I mean, he will always be my favorite character, even when he's gone. Right. But I'm still interested in the other characters. Like, you know, I also like Maggie. I also like Rick. I also like Daryl and Carol, and all those other characters. So it's like it's kind of hard not to imagine not watching it because I like the story and I want to see where the story goes. I want to try to stick with it the whole time until they're finished with the show. Because to me, at the end, when it's all over, all said and done, then we'll have the whole like package of all the episodes and be able to watch it over again. And it's like a whole.
All right. So if my question was, what will make you leave? 5 things. Flat out.
Hard. Well,
5 or 2 or 1.
Obviously, it wouldn't be, you know, any characters dying because that hasn't got me to stop watching it, and it won't. I think mainly if it got really graphic in terms of sex and things like that. Like, I mean, I know they've had the scenes between Glenn and Maggie, but it wasn't like really. You couldn't see anything. It was in the dark and everything. In passing and everything.
Yeah. So no,
but if they had too much sex, they had a lot of cussing, like worse than, I mean, I've heard a couple of cuss words in it, but if they got like really potty mouth, that would make me stop watching it. If they got any kind of like, I don't know, after that, I haven't really thought that much about stuff.
So all the gore and violence and all that stuff's okay, but just like the cussing's a problem.
No, I mean, yeah, well, the whole thing with the you know, how he was and everything. At first, how Daryl was, but Daryl's grown on me because he's like kind of turned away from that. He's not as bad as his brother was or even how he was in the beginning. So Daryl's grown on me. So I mean, I just don't like that really the potty mouth kind of characters and the way that when it gets like that in some shows and movies where they really get into it and they really cuss all the time, it's like they're getting paid to cuss, you know? It's a real turnoff for me. But, like, yeah, the gore, the blood stuff, I've gotten used to that. I've kind of desensitized myself to it now. In the beginning, you know, Joe will tell you, in the beginning when I was watching, trying to catch up with everybody, I told him a lot of times, like, oh my goodness, I almost gagged a lot of different times. I've gotten to where I can deal with it more. I don't like gag.
It was a miracle just to get you to watch it in the first place.
So with the cussing,
I
not grow on you?
see that now, because, like, whenever I see people, like, swearing all over the place, the first thing that I think is, what the fuck made them have to talk like that shit all the time?
All right, getting serious stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of curious because, I mean, like, Gloria was talking about, like, what she said about the cussing and stuff. I mean, would the cussing not grow and have the same effect like the gore would? Because they seem like they've amped the gore up recently.
They definitely have to gore up.
I don't think, because that's like irrelevant. I've never saw the appeal of it. Some people just don't like certain things. And that's just one of the things. It's my pet peeve.
All right, my pet peeve is Rick dies, it's over. Rick turns into the governor, it's over. Rick turns into a dick, like totally, where he's not a likable character, it's over. If they have every episode where they're starving to death, there's no water, there's no food, where it gets too depressing, then it's over. Because I saw that one episode, and if that would have dragged on the whole season, I would have threw the TV out the window and said, the hell with that shit.
I would like to see some, like, really hardcore thing where, like, we see a zombie eat someone from start to skeleton, and then afterward, at the end of the episode, they flash on a fast recipe for long pig.
Probably. Yeah.
Well, they did something similar to that. They had, like, in one, I think it was like 2 seasons ago, it was like a big joke that they had like a big zombie sort of carnage scene where they were like ripping somebody apart, and then the first commercial was like a Kentucky Fried Chicken or a barbecue commercial or something. And a lot of people were like,
I find it funny that the walkers are not allowed to eat with the crew. Like, they have a whole thing, they're not allowed to eat with them, you know? And
that seems a little bit, you know, like they're discriminating against them there. That's not right.
Poor walkers, that's not cool.
We better put Jesse in there.
If Daryl died, I'd probably be close to my aunt with The Walking Dead. If Rick was alone, like where the group was like down to like 2 people, I probably wouldn't want to watch it either. I mean, I like the idea of the group being huge, you know, where there's many different characters. If you start singling out where there's like 2 people with Rick, I wouldn't like it.
Also, Joe, if they did what they did when they separated the group, if they did that and kept
no, I'm done. If they separate the group, I'm done. Done.
Because I was so upset during that.
I got pissed when after they got back together, Glenn and Maggie going the other way. I'm like, this is bullshit. You know.
You know me, I was really worried. I was so happy when they reunited. I was like, oh.
I know. So but here's the thing: how do you stretch it out for another 10 years?
That's what's difficult.
A random donkey show.
Because there's only so much story plots they could put in it without it messing with everybody's, you know, preferences. Like you said, you don't want so much human on human. You want it more zombie.
The show is about the walkers, so put the friggin' walkers in the episode.
It's having the same conversation.
Well, they've already established the fact that they don't mind lying to us, so I mean, why don't they just tell us that they're going to do a crossover with the Avengers next season, and, you know, the fan base will believe it and they'll be disappointed. Because, I mean, you know, why stop now with the lying?
Look, it's going to continue, unfortunately. They're not going to learn their lesson.
Won't be a problem for me. I'm not watching it anymore.
I know, you said it. I know.
It's just garbage. I'm not going to support a series that does that.
They can lie all they want, I'm not going to believe it until I see it. Like, for me, it's just watch it, not say anything, not
But they're still reporting it. That was the problem. I mean, even if you, it's almost like, well, I'm going to be in denial that they're actually doing this to the fan base in a way, you know.
Why don't we do another article where we're going to get everybody involved?
Well, I would end the show. I have the perfect way that I'd end the show is in the final story I'd have them trapped, and they're trying to find their way out of an old prison, and there's basically a big gas leak that's coming in, and they find out that if they escape, they might have an answer as to the cure, and it actually has something to do with the gas. And then, as the story fades, you find out that the whole thing is that it was this group of junkies that had started to overdose on a bunch of bath salts, and the entire thing was in their head, and that's why the whole world was.
They actually said that don't think it's going to be a dream, because that's definitely not what it's going to be. It's not going to be anything like that at all. This is really happening.
It's not exactly a dream. It's the bath salts.
No pain elsewhere.
Yeah, this is not a hallucination or any type of drug-induced coma or any type of none of that. No, it's really happening.
What was your next article about Capaldi's trousers?
Well, I wanted to really talk about. You got anybody watch Arrow?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Stephen Amell, if I said his name right, is going to be playing Casey Jones in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. So we got a big role with that. I don't know if anybody who watches Arrow. Anybody watch Arrow?
I do.
All right. So are you happy about that, or you don't really care?
That one.
I've
so
read.
I'm really happy
Ninja Turtles,
to be on it, though.
and
Right.
he does not look anything like the character. I don't think that he'd have a hard time with the personality, but I do think that they could have done better with the casting.
I see. Was anybody happy? Did anybody see Mark Hamill return as the Trickster in The Flash?
Yep.
Were you happy with it? I didn't get to see it yet. Did you?
Oh, it was good.
It was good.
Yeah. He is back next season, by the way. That's what they were saying. He's going to be returning a couple of episodes, I guess.
Speaking of Mark Hamill, by the way, didn't we get an announcement that there's going to be a new Star Wars trailer at the age of Ultron?
Yes, right in the beginning of it. Yes, we are going to get finally the trailer, not the teaser, the actual trailer.
At the beginning of what?
Age of Ultron. Avengers, Age of Ultron. So, but it makes sense because it's Disney.
By the way, I am loving the new trailer for the Jurassic World, the longer one. Oh my goodness.
See, I don't know now. See, I'm kind of torn with that because they believe that they're so confident that this movie will. They already basically calculated that Jurassic World 1, 2, and 3 because of this movie, maybe 4. Like, from seeing the trailer, I don't know if I have confidence to say this is another extension and a whole new trilogy. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen anything that's like, to me, it's like, oh my god, I could see this going for another 3 movies.
From it, I could tell that it's different, but it's going to be good in and of itself. I mean, it's going to be good standalone.
John, what do you think?
About Jurassic World, I don't know. I could go either way.
Do you know how this movie ends? I actually read a leak on it. You remember Dr. Hammond?
I don't want to hear it.
No, Dr. Hammond will be back, but only in the very end, when he wakes up hatching, and to his horror, there is a dinosaur having cloned him in sort of a half-human dinosaur hybrid, and he's freaking out and doesn't understand what this lab is, and it's basically millions of years after the events of Jurassic Park.
Ah, okay.
That's weird.
I didn't hear it. Good.
I haven't seen any of the Jurassic Park films other than the first one. I have amnesia,
Yeah. I mean, from seeing the trailer, I mean, you think it's going to carry on like 3 movies? I mean,
sure, why not?
yeah, really think it's going to be that much of a success?
Well, yeah, they could even play Godzilla.
Exactly.
I don't know. What about you, Connor? Yeah, that's what I said. Poor Connor.
Get
Didn't
some
even
rest,
get to
Connor.
tonight. Yeah, I know, man.
Sean
Upset. Damn. He slept before, missed it, and now he's sleeping again. Damn.
That's why he's quiet. I was about to say. I thought he said something.
Shit. All right. Vil,
So, is anyone up for a
are you
seance?
Jurassic? No. Are you up? Do you think that are you a Jurassic Park person or what?
You know, I read the books, and they're so much better than the movies. But this ending,
Right.
this ending does make me at least want to see that happen.
Right. What about Connor? You there, Connor? Connor? No.
Yeah.
You there?
Yeah.
Connor, why don't you talk about the Sherlock thing?
Yep. Moffat said in the same interview that he said Series 4 of Sherlock is going to deal with darker themes and consequences. He said that he's kind of changed his mind in with the Doctor Who Sherlock crossover thing that everybody wants, and he's now saying that he's up for doing it.
He's such a dick.
He's a lying dickhead. He's
You
not.
wanna
He's
know why
not
I'm pissed? I'll tell you why I'm pissed. He basically put it in there where we could have a crossover in The Blind Banker, where Sherlock is talking to Watson, telling him he was a member of UNIT. This is where he started. He's inspired by the Doctor, probably, and that's why he's doing all the crap that he's doing now. And they put it in there. They snuck it in there. I caught it. I'm like, holy crap, we're going to have a crossover. When I saw that in season 1 of Sherlock. Then he decides to be an arrogant son of a... And in the Snowman episode, he's like, I'm not going to share my Sherlock with anyone, even Doctor Who. So then he makes a stupid remark in the Snowman that the whole basis that based on Madame Vastra was Sherlock Holmes, and there was no Sherlock Holmes, and that's where you got the idea to write about Sherlock Holmes, is because of Madame Vastra. So that just killed every attempt at a crossover. But then they did some weird shit where they had it filmed somewhere that Matt Smith, as the Doctor, is battling Moriarty, which is actually Moriarty, in Sherlock, on stage, with characters like from James Bond and all these different people mixed in. It was for charity, and I don't know who's got that videotape, but I sure would like to see it.
I saw it once.
You saw it?
I haven't been able to find it.
I can't find it.
First time? Oh my goodness.
So now he's gonna just do it. Now he's gonna do it. How do you explain that didn't the Doctor already encounter Sherlock Holmes?
Sorry?
Didn't the Doctor already encounter Sherlock Holmes?
Well, in Talons of Wing Chiang,
He dressed
there
as
was
Sherlock.
yeah.
Right. So now you just said that he doesn't exist, he's a fictional character, but now you're gonna say he's real like centuries later? That's not gonna make any sense.
Well, it's kind of like with Robin Hood, is it not?
No, because it's different. Sherlock was supposed to be in the past, in Victorian era, not now.
No, but I mean, I'm saying the same thing, the equivalent, where you have a fictional character, and then like they go back later and go, okay, well, we're going to actually encounter a real Sherlock or Robin Hood in Robots of Sherwood.
No, but in this case, there was never Sherlock Holmes in the past. Is that what it is? Like just in the present,
Well, we got King Arthur also, right?
right?
Of course there was a Sherlock in the past.
With this Sherlock in the present.
I don't get what you're trying to say.
Okay, in the Sherlock show, right?
Yeah.
It's in present day.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
in Doctor Who the Snowmen, they mention that Sherlock Holmes was a fictional character created in Victorian London based on Madame Vastra's adventures.
Well, that's Doctor Who.
But if they have a crossover with Doctor Who and Sherlock, how would they explain that?
Well,
They don't have to.
That's
Yeah, you don't
that's
have to.
nitpicking.
They'll just do their own thing. That's what. But
Come
forget
on,
about
you
this.
fake. You know.
Fuck it. Just throw up whatever. The
Yeah,
fans are
pretty
too
much.
stupid. They won't know anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what
yeah,
That's what they want. You want Fred Flintstone to team up with the WWE wrestlers, even though it's a different time period. Get it.
Yeah, because it's all
Who
fake.
cares? Just who
Yeah,
gives a
Doctor
shit?
Who is fake. It's
It is
made up.
fake. Right.
Yeah, and Sherlock Holmes is fake.
So
and
just do it. Fuck it. Who
fake
cares?
on a-
Who give
on
a
a
shit?
TV show with fictional characters. That's what
Next
they're
thing,
gonna
the
have.
TARDIS shows up and helps Rick Grimes out and Carl.
Yeah,
And just
they
fuck
could
it,
do that.
basically.
exactly.
Whatever the hell they want to do.
And we can do it. We can put it wherever we want. We can put them on Blue Peter. We can put them on.
You turn around the corner, there's Elmer Fudd and Bugs Bunny, and everybody's together, and they're going to sing We Are the World, because it's like for charity. Who gives a fuck?
And then they'll show
Smells
off all
like I've
the
done shit in my chair again.
Yeah.
Well, didn't they have King Arthur? And they referenced like the Arthurian legend, but then they actually had King Arthur, or like the thing. What was that in Battlefield?
That
Didn't
was,
they have like
okay, they
Morgan
said it in alternate reality. That
was
was
how they
true.
explained it?
I think that made a lot more sense. Actually, I think that wasn't.
That was true.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in that reality, they had technological laser guns, or whatever.
They do that all the time.
But then they referenced the Doctor as being Merlin in Battlefield with Sylvester McCoy.
In the future incarnation, he's supposed to be Merlin. Like, in other words, Capaldi could be Merlin. He could go to that reality. A future incarnation of the Doctor is going to become Merlin in that universe. And he's going to have a series of battles with Morgan Le Fay.
Well,
It's true.
That kind of river.
What?
So this.
I
could
was
be
just
the
gonna say, and that
alternate
put me to.
where Sherlock is an actual real person, or there's a universe where he's a fictional character. So
Right, so in other words, in this, you have to travel to another universe where Sherlock's a real person.
It puts me in mind of whenever River said that she hates wizards and fairy tales because they always turn out to be him.
Yeah.
So the Doctor could go into another dimension where the Doctor is a fictional character.
Correct.
you could. That would be weird.
We actually did in Remembrance of the Daleks. Right as he left the coffee shop, they said, "And now stay tuned for our program, Doctor." And they just
Well, that was kind of a nod, the tip of the hat to the fans.
I know.
Nothing overt.
That was an Easter egg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Well, they could go into like another dimension where like Rowan Atkinson is the Doctor right now, and have him like Rowan Atkinson.
Well, what happened at the end of that episode, The Curse of the Fatal Death? The Doctor became a woman. So, and that was Moffat's first Doctor Who thing.
In the comic books, they actually had Matt Smith's Doctor show up in our universe where there was no Doctor, and he got confused for Matt Smith.
Wow. Yeah.
I think it's about time for Moffat to move on after this season.
I think so.
I think so. To take his Mary Sue's with him.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I know Ville's a big fan of Moffat, but I mean...
Yeah.
I'm a bigger fan of a spiky turd coming out sideways.
All right.
So when's the Doctor going to fight zombies? Let's see some zombie carnage going.
They came as close as they could as Walking Dead, and that was
the closest
Death in Heaven.
That is called
and
that's when they have a
Dark
convention.
Water and Death in Heaven, basically.
Curse of Fenric was close.
Yes, yes, that was.
I really want to see them get back to like Curse of Fenric sort of territory where
the bad guys knew who he was.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see that because I mean, like this brings
Still
up
the Nemesis also.
This brings up like an important topic to me at least, which is like I would like to see that Doctor like that sort of Doctor, with Capaldi picking up the reins at that point and doing that sort of dark sort of Doctor that's got the Machiavellian sort of way of the ends justifies the means, and this Doctor that we've been promised with Capaldi really hasn't paid off for the most part, like what we were promised in Deep Breath. This sort of like, don't mess with this Doctor, because see, somebody like Capaldi, he actually has the gravitas as an actor, and the way he portrays the Doctor is somebody that you really would pause before really screwing with them. But like Matt Smith, I never really took him seriously at all.
Well, it was always a joke with Matt Smith.
Though, when he could be very serious.
Which one? Gloria? I didn't hear you. I'm so sorry.
Matt.
Yeah.
Matt never pulled Sirius off really well.
He did. I mean, what was that whole thing with the Sacarac, or whatever he called them? And then all the anger that he had with the angels, or not.
Yeah, but he just seemed like he was pissy. I mean, like David Tennant actually pulled that off, because there were some scenes with David Tennant where, like in the one Family of Blood, where at the end of that two-parter, you really actually believed that David Tennant was capable of being somebody that could really be stiff with people if he needed to.
Yeah.
And Matt Smith, to me, he just always seemed like the little punk on the school ground yard that like was always, oh, don't do this, or I'm gonna trust me, I will do something to you, just believe me, I will. But Capaldi, like we talked about before Capaldi's season actually started, we were expecting a Doctor that would just like look at you and raise his eyebrow, and like Joseph, the Daleks would be like running the other way,
Yeah, and that didn't happen, and I was like, come on, man.
And that's the Doctor that I want.
Me too.
Especially with Capaldi. I don't want him doing it with some other actor.
I want them to do that with Capaldi at least once. I want the Daleks to turn and run.
But see, they're kind of neutering that character. It seems like they've been going that way, like in the second half of last series, where Capaldi's kind of getting more like almost like a doddering older uncle or something, to Clara. I mean, it's not like this guy's supposed to be like, carrying himself with some real intensity, and he just seems kind of like, it's like this whole Clara Who sort of series that we've had last season with things, and Capaldi's kind of just like the doddering uncle that's there in the background, and he just shows up, and he's not the intense sort of guy that we were promised.
Get ready for more of it, because he's not going anywhere.
Should.
Apparently, he's probably going to become more whimsical in Series 9.
Well, for shit's sake, they're putting him in like plaid trousers now, from what we heard reported.
Yeah. It's
I was actually expecting Capaldi to be the way we were talking about, with the eyebrow going up and the Daleks running from him. Because of River's line in A Good Man Goes to War, when she said you could turn an army around with a mention of his name. Like, just his name freaking them out. Imagine if the Doctor we're speaking of, the one that everybody knows and not to mess with, it would be that kind of reaction to him.
I thought that this Doctor's supposed to be the beast that the Great Intelligence talked about.
Yeah.
Well, and in fairness, we haven't seen his whole era play out, obviously, because they're in production doing that. But I mean, like, who knows what they're going to do like 2 or 3 years from now? But as it stands now, I'm thinking Sylvester McCoy, although not a physical threat, he pulled off the comical, clownish sort of Doctor, but he became the darker Doctor that was very Machiavellian, and you believe that he was capable of being like 5 steps ahead of you and squashing your plans if you were like the baddie of the episode. But Capaldi, we were promised somebody that was actually going to be more of someone who just overtly was a threat, who wasn't just going to like mask the way that they are a threat in the way that they go about their planning and their scheming with winning over the baddie by the end of the episode. And, you know, Capaldi's supposed to be this intense sort of doctor. You know, Sylvester McCoy was more of like a under-the-surface intensity, and he was more of a schemer. So I understand that we've had dark doctors, but, you know, it's like with Capaldi, I would expect him to be dark, but also, like, you would know that on the surface. Like, when this guy walks in a room, you're going to realize this guy's got an air of danger about him. And I don't really get that in, like, the last half of the season.
Doesn't appear that way at all.
Sorry?
It doesn't appear that way at all.
He was like that in. There was elements of it in Deep Breath. There was elements of it in. I would say there was elements of it in Dark Water, but he didn't appear enough. When they were promoting him and stuff, the fact that he was asking Clara whether he was a good man, you thought he was going to be. Well, I did particularly. I thought he was going to be this unstable man that kind of he didn't actually know what he was doing, so he would like take action to anything, and he wouldn't care because he doesn't know who he is. You know, he's literally he's pretty much off his head. But he's a lot darker, and you know he doesn't care about consequence.
Yeah, and see, this points out like the brilliance of Tom Baker being the Fourth Doctor, because he was comical, he was bohemian, but there were times where, like, if you as the viewer were watching the episode and one of the baddies was, you know, making some big to-do about something in that episode, Tom Baker would just kind of, like, not even have to directly look at them, but just go, oh, I wouldn't recommend doing that if I were you. And you would take things seriously, you know, because he had that presence. And Capaldi can do that. They just need to let him do it.
Moffat just tends to, like, go in the wrong direction sometimes, and especially judging by his outfit. Like now, I guess with Series 9, he is going to become a comical, funny, everything that we really don't want doctor.
I don't think he's going to become comical. He's not going to start cracking jokes like Matt Smith and acting like a complete lunatic like Matt Smith did. It's going to be more on the lines that he's going to be he's probably not going to have that much intensity. He's probably just going to the only way that they can pull that off, being a comical doctor with and actually be acceptable and not in Matt Smith territory, was if you know, Capaldi was sarcastic and you know, he was firm and cold with his humour, but he was, you know, he was sarcastic and stuff. If he started jumping around like a lunatic, like Matt Smith would, then I think you pretty much, you know, put Capaldi's doctor's head in the stocks and just chopped it off, because, like, you ruined him.
Yeah, Matt Smith was very animated.
Yeah.
And, like I'll ask you, how seriously can you take some guy wearing plaid trousers? I mean, I have visions of Patrick Troughton with his Cosmic Hobo outfit, you know, with the flared-out pants and the plaid and all that. I mean, it's like, what... I mean, what are they going for? Are they trying to, like, take your expectation of this Dark Doctor and just, like, clown him up?
I don't know why he's going in that direction, Moffat. I mean, the life for me, like, this is what the problem is, okay? He likes to go in directions that we don't expect, but he screws it up. Like, he woke up one day and said, oh, my doctor's going to be hysterical and funny. No, what is fucking wrong with you? Like, what are you doing? You basically made the last season dark and whatever, and now you're going to go in the opposite direction. It's not going to make sense. Why don't you just do the damn musical then? Like Buffy, and start singing around and shit.
To be fair, we don't know to what extent yet everything's going to be lighter. It could still be extremely dark, but what he's saying isn't promising, and it's particularly what I've noticed is it's lowered expectations, and now people are just expecting Series 9 to be a complete shitfest because Moffat's saying these things that are pretty much what's going to destroy Capaldi's Doctor if it happens.
Like Connor, we wanted 2-parters, right? We wanted story arcs, right?
Yeah.
Did we freaking ask for 5 2-parters throughout the whole season?
I don't see the problem with that.
Well, here's the thing. If the episode sucks, then you have 2 suck episodes. I mean, we may have a problem with it. We may have a problem. If he's a comical doctor, then the whole season's going to be the wrong direction.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. But
yeah, I know.
Not every episode will be 2 parts. It's probably this is evidently going to be a 2-part of the girl who died, the woman who lived, because
we have the Magician's Apprentice and the Witch's Familiar.
Yeah, we have the Toby Whithouse 2-parter.
Then we're probably separated by a single episode, I'm going to say. So you can have like a bridge. You can have 2-episode single. 2-episode single.
No.
Probably gonna happen, no?
No, because it's going to go Magician's Apprentice, Witch's Familiar. Then it's going to go the Toby Whithouse 2-parter.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's how it's been said.
Really?
Yeah, Toby Whithouse 2-parter is episode 3 and 4. And then the girl who lived, the girl who died, the woman who lived, is episode 5 and 6, which is Matheson, Moffat, and Tregenna.
Well, wait a minute. What about the scary 2-parter?
Well, they've not filmed that yet.
So that's another one.
That's possibly another one.
So
what's scary?
Joe.
The finale's a 2-parter.
Yeah, what's scary 2-parter?
They were supposed to be filming, or weren't they supposed to be filming? Well, one they were filming Cold War Russian thing was like a 2-parter, right?
That's Toby Whithouse's, yeah.
Okay. So then they were also filming some type of scary 2-parter, right? Or no?
I read that too. Yeah. There's supposed to be.
Sorry, Mike.
I'm sorry, Connor. There may be a delay on here, but I to support what Joe's saying, I read some article where they talked about the writer of that episode said this is the scariest thing that he's written. Is that the one you're talking about, Joe?
Yeah.
That's Gatiss.
Okay. No, that's he's doing a scary thing too. It's not even written yet.
That's what Gatiss said. Gatiss said it's the scariest thing he's ever written.
Oh, okay. But
Toby Whithouse's 2-parter is supposed to be scary.
So technically you only have then 4 2-parters.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That we know of.
All right. That we know of.
And 2 of them are filmed, and one of them's already being filmed at the moment.
The first 2, the last 2.
What Moffat's doing is he's trying to play up on what he said in Doctor Who magazine, where he said he's going to try and surprise us, where we don't know when it's a 2-parter.
That's bullshit. You know.
Well, no, he's doing it now because he never officially said that the girl who died.
They did officially said it though.
No, they didn't.
Yes,
not
they
in
did.
the BBC press. No, they said it was 2 period adventures, not a 2-parter. There's a difference.
So in other words, it's just
it's 2 historicals that coincidentally come one after another.
I see.
So apologies, but I stepped away for a minute. You might have mentioned something about this, but how many episodes in total for this series coming up? 13?
We don't even know. It's 12 or 13.
So we got 4 2-parters, so that means that's 8 episodes.
That's
so
8
the rest would be single, I would assume.
But we're not even counting a Christmas special because I don't even know if we're going to have one.
We'll have a Christmas special. Why wouldn't we have a Christmas special?
Well, then if you have the Christmas special, there's only 3 episodes left.
Right.
We don't know if we lost an episode or if we gained an episode back or we lost more. We really don't know.
Well, as soon as we hear about what number it is, then we can make decisions like that. But there's going to be this. I wouldn't be surprised if every title is like juxtaposition with another one.
Right.
Because, for example, you know, Magician's Apprentice, which is familiar, that's juxtaposition between those two, and then
Right.
and then you've got the girl who died, the woman who lived. It's a way of Moffat trying to trick us into thinking that it's probably all going to be two-parters.
But that could be talking about Osgood, not necessarily Maisie Williams.
They're not talking about Osgood. That's
They
fine.
could be.
No.
Why?
Because A, Unit are not in the episode.
But why
B-
would Unit have to be in the episode if he's going to save her?
Well, she's working for Unit.
Yeah, but if he finds she's in the Nethersphere and he saves her, then she becomes traveling with him, why would Unit have to be part of that?
But it's not based in the Nethersphere, it's a historical. The two historical.
And we're not going to have any mention of Danny Pink or nothing, right?
Hopefully not.
Danny Pinko's gone. Good riddance.
Thank God. Bland character. Utterly bland.
Right.
Hey,
He has nothing going for it.
kind of like the weeping cardboard cutout that we have
Yeah.
for another whole season.
Hmm.
Who gets more lines than the Doctor?
All right. What, Lori?
The cardboard cutout. Who's the cardboard cutout?
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
Clara.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Moffat better not fuck up Matheson's script,
Too late.
because Matheson was the standout writer.
Too late.
Series 8. And both of his monsters actually came in the top 2 of the best of 2014 or whatever. And if Moffat goes around tinkering with Matheson's script, we're in for a shitfest.
Oh, come on! The show's always about his mental masturbation.
Yeah.
I hope you don't screw up Gallifrey returning. I mean, he could screw that up too. You could turn that into like, oh, here they are, thanks.
You already did, didn't you see the 8th anniversary episode? That was the worst possible way to bring back Gallifrey. Well, look,
You know, I'm almost
erase your most character-defining moment ever.
I'm almost willing to see like a female Doctor if they got rid of Moffat and actually did the stories right and brought back Gallifrey and did things like in a way that you as a fan would like to go back and watch the show and be like, hey, this show is like awesome. It's not just like kind of mediocre as it has been. Like this past season just seems like they built up Capaldi to be such like this like great Doctor, this iconic one of the best Doctors. And granted, we've only seen one season, okay, so I understand that, but I just want to see them like let Capaldi go, like take his reins off, take his leash off, let him go out there and be the Doctor that he's wanting to be.
Yeah.
You see Clara get choked and thrown into space.
They're not going to take the reins off. Moffat has to have complete control.
Well, then get
And
rid
it's
of
a
Moffat.
problem.
Moffat needs to go then.
They're not going to get rid of Moffat.
Make Mark Gatiss the showrunner. Or even better, Nick Briggs.
Okay. First of all,
Yeah, I mean seriously, like on our
Moffat is
panel
not-
right now.
Moffat's not going to go anytime soon. He's as long as he's doing Sherlock, and he's sitting there doing Sherlock, which is not the whole year.
But I
He's
get
going to do.
Sherlock may be a great show. I have it in my queue to watch it on Netflix.
It's
I can watch
actually
it. I'm
fantastic.
sure it's good. But, for fuck's sake, like, focus on Doctor Who. Who gives a shit about Sherlock? Moffat
You
needs to
could clearly
decide what
see. If you see Sherlock,
Yeah,
you could clearly see where his focus is.
Yeah,
exactly. That's my point I'm making. Like Bill said, give it to Gatiss. Give it to somebody who we know. Gatiss is he loves Doctor Who at heart. He's a longtime fan, and he's shown that he can actually write good episodes. And I mean, let the guy.
But if Gatiss was in charge,
If
it would be
Gatiss was in
Moffat still
charge,
anyway.
we'd get a whole series of modern day historicals with
Yeah,
fictional characters.
shit.
You need someone else. I think either Toby Whithouse or Jamie Matheson are the
Nick Briggs.
perfect candidates for showrunner. I think Gatiss is past his time now.
Nick Briggs would do a great job.
Yeah, Nicholas Briggs
as well.
is excellent. Yes. I liked where they're going with the Darker Doctor before they canceled the series with Nick Briggs.
Well, how about what Moffat, the statement he made, that the BBC was going to give him a check to do Madame Vastra Adventures or whatever, right? That's how they wanted to do it. Here it is, go with it, right? Here's your budget, here's everything. And he says no.
But do you want to see that series?
I, for one, would have rather seen Vastra with Matt Smith travel on the TARDIS.
I would rather shave my balls at the cheese.
Oh, my God.
I wouldn't want to see a Paternoster gang.
I think it's past that.
I'd rather see a Paternoster gang spin-off than
I would see like a 2-episode thing or something, or a miniseries like Sherlock, like 3 episodes. But I wouldn't do a whole 12 episodes. Or
if you review Deep Breath properly and you analyze it, the only weak spot of that is actually the Paternoster gang.
If you watch,
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
keep in mind
that's true about that.
The one thing that was missing from Deep Breath, without a doubt, was
meth. I knew it.
Right.
So, I'm curious. Are you still there, John?
Yeah.
You're there.
Yeah, sorry.
How much of the Capaldi episodes have you seen? How many of them, I should say? So, what would your expectation be of Capaldi's Doctor during his era?
He's a nice man. I think so.
Come on, I'm being serious.
You have only seen
being
one
serious
episode.
as well.
He's a nice man.
What about Siriusville over there, right beside me?
There's an episode that you need to see.
Okay.
It's called Flatline, but before you watch it, you need to eat some magic mushrooms.
Oh, I don't do that.
Flatline with magic mushrooms.
And then watch Flatline. When you start to trip, when you start seeing the curtains breathe, put on Flatline.
All right. On that note, yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, in all seriousness, I'm curious what John would expect of Peter Capaldi, being the Doctor during his era, from what you've seen of him in Deep Breath. As somebody who hasn't seen the rest of the season, what John's expectation for that character would be.
I don't have any big expectations for any person who plays Doctor Who. Really, I don't.
Well, I meant the character themselves, the way they portray the character.
I don't know. Everybody's going to do it a little differently. They're going to take some time to get into the groove. What are you going to do?
Well, I mean, you've seen Deep Breath, so based on that portrayal of the Doctor by Capaldi in that episode, what would you say based on that?
I'd say it was keeping in, how it was presented, Doctor, but I don't really have a big opinion of it. So.
All right. Anything else? Final thoughts?
If you're ever in doubt, you're probably out of meth.
All right. On that note, hopefully Series 9 is not the comedy Doctor. Hopefully it continues with the serious Doctor, the Beast, the Doctor that scares the crap out of the Daleks where they're running.
The Beast.
I'm still waiting to see that. I'm hoping we get to see that. Yeah, I hope we get to see Capaldi be a badass. All right, guys, that's it. Take care. Bye for now.
More